What is going on, guys? We are going to be taking a look at my free-to-play wishlist character selections. I just cleared AFK stage 1125 on my main account, so now I feel like I have the confidence and understanding of the game and the units enough to really kind of recommend which way to go in this free-to-play selection, what units you want to target, what units to ascend, and kind of how to move forward. I started a free-to-play account. That's what we're on right now. I'm going to go through just the beginning summon phases, and then I'm going to show you how to set your wish list if you don't know how to do that. The wish list is a wonderful feature for new players, people just getting into the game, free-to-play players that are trying to target a specific unit that they might need and or want. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Thank you for being here. Smack the sub button. We're going to take a look straight into the events here really quick. This is where you can grab some new summons if you're brand new starting out. If you hit that little event banner on the right hand side of the screen, it will take you to this Journey's Gift. This is where you can grab summon tickets. So you've got multis here for logging in. You get a character skin, then you get to choose a unit. So we're just going to grab the multis right here. And then going down, guys, you have an all heroes available. Make sure you guys are doing this. So you log in every day. This is going to fill out slots. You can grab units here. So if you just select it and go through the days that you log in, you will get a chance to kind of roll into all of these units. This is just a phenomenal way to collect new stuff. So make sure you're stopping here, grabbing these. But the key to this is the wish list. So when you go down to the mystical house, you go to the noble tavern. This is where all the summoning will be done. You're going to come here. You're going to do your 3 multis. You can use the tickets so you don't have to touch those precious diamonds. And then it will let you know, hey, the wish list is now available. And this is kind of the key way to target these heroes as you're pulling and summoning. So what you do is you're going to hit wish list. This is going to bring you this chart of all these different units in the game. You're going to see the different classes of Lightbearer, Mauler, Wilder, and Graveborn. And selecting their portraits is going to bring you into a menu letting you know what units you can swap in and out to this wish list. As the characters rotate off their rate up banner, they are actually put into the general hero pool. So you'll see Vala here on the bottom left. She was our first rate up unit. Now we have Floribel. So if you fear you missed out on a rate up unit, there's always a chance that you will roll them in this banner now. But starting with Lightbearer, guys, already up here you have Rowan. Rowan is the kid right here in the center. This unit has made such a difference in playing through the game. His skill just fills up everybody's ulti. It helps you accelerate and activate stuff way ahead of time, and some of these stages are set to kind of stall you. Rowan, fantastic choice on the wish list. I just highly recommend keeping him there. Rowan was my first pull, and he made such a difference in this game. For the second 5-star unit of this, I personally would set Vala. Vala has the ability to kind of reduce your skill gauge and stop the characters in the very back from ulting. She stuns them, prevents their skills from activating, and in the later stages of the AFK kind of progression, she can be so valuable. So you can, if you are desperate for a tank, do Temesia. She is a tank with a movement displacement ability, but for now I would do the Vala Rowan. And then onto the epic units for Lightbearer, I would set Marley. Marley is a fantastic damage dealer. If you get her ascended up enough, she does start doing true damage, but very good. Has a displacement ability if you need a unit to kind of hop over the walls on the stages or move around. She has helped a lot in this game for me, especially during the Dream Realm daily bosses. So Marley's a great unit to have. And second here, you do have the option tanks of Lucius, or you can go in to get Corrin. Corrin is a kind of a self-sustained damaging unit that can actually move around the map. Lucius is a tank that is going to provide your team shield. So that when he activates his skill, his ult goes off, your team will get shield. So if you're feeling you need more survivability, then that's what you want. He is a good tank to have. There are better tanks that you can get, so just keep that in mind. He is good, but there are better options. So now down to the Mauler section. This is where some really key units start to show up. Right away, when you're here in this section for free to play, I would set Smokey ASAP. My goodness, this unit can make or break stages. Can't even begin to describe how many stages that I cleared where I don't think I should have been able to. It's because I had a Smokey. He has a passive AoE heal. He puts it out, starts healing your team, gives you an attack buff later on. It's just 10 out of 10. Get Smokey on that wish list. Very good unit. Second unit that I would put here, I know a lot of people actually don't use him right away, but Brutus, early game, phenomenal. AoE tank, does an AoE spin, does damage, can make himself invulnerable when he's going to die, just doesn't take damage for that little split-second window. You can really kind of build up skills in that time slot to just pop off. Really good early. Okay, mid-game. Late game, I found found myself using Brutus. You get to the AFK stages at a certain point around 700. You have to start fighting 2 waves. The second team, I always found using Brutus, and it just helps so much. So Brutus, Smokey, I think are the choices here. At least for my free-to-play account, that's how that's going to be. You do have the epic Mauler heroes. Odie, just keep him there. Odie is so good, and late game, if you can get him ascended, if you buy copies of him from the Dream Realm, it is just... he has carried so many stages. So many times I was doing AFK stages and he was just the last unit to live. If you get him ascended far enough, he does have an execute. Puts DOT poison when their HP reaches a certain percent. He just executes them right away. And the next slot is just, this is just really, really tough because you have Entendre. Entendre is a tank that can CC lock the front line for a few seconds. She can just bring herself up with defense. When you're trying to push into the late game and you have Brutus and you have Entendre paired together with Smokey and Odie, you have that whole second team set as that Mauler-centric team. You do get the faction buff for multiple units from the same faction, and the dual tanks together, they're amazing. However, you do have Coco here. Coco does provide damage reduction to the whole team. She activates her ults, and then you can kind of go from there. Smokey and Coco together is insane. You're healing your whole team. You're providing your whole team a huge damage reduction buff. So this is personal preference. If you need a tank, if you're really desperate for more tanks, you feel like your front line is just getting absolutely demolished, I would set Entendre. But if you have a tank already and you feel comfortable with what you have, I would go with Coco. Kruger is also phenomenal if you want to focus on the Dream Realm boss later down the road and you're reducing defense with him. He reduces physical defense. He does damage. He's really nice to have, but just as a core built-up team, that's something that can push you through the game as a free-to-play player. For me personally, I'm going to be doing it like this. I'm going to have Smokey, I'm going to have Brutus, Odie, and Coco. That's my Mauler lineup for this free-to-play here. These units can make or break certain stages, and I had to go back to them time and time again, guys. So that's going to be that for Mauler. Down to Wilder, when you select this, you do have some interesting options. If you're in need of a healer, you can leave Huen here. This is a kind of an AoE continuous healer. Very good. For the second choice, I would actually put Iran. Iran is very kind of niche in what he does. You do need multiple copies of him to do stuff. You do already have a tank set with Brutus and Lucius if you chose to keep Lucius in the Lightbearer slot. There is an even better tank below, but we're going to get to that in a moment. And then for the epic heroes for the Wilder team, this is also kind of a really interesting little setup. I would recommend leaving Leica here. Leica can kind of AoE hit the boss with their ulti, reduce physical defense, and then apply kind of this DOT damage on all your allies that get hit by her ult. Will start striking down the boss or the enemies that they're fighting. I personally would switch this out for Damien. Damien has also helped in very weird stages in the AFK kind of progression. You'll have like a wall going down the middle of the map. You have to split your team up. When you have Damien on the field, he runs off the field and he puts a little cart down. The cart goes out and heals. If you unlock his weapon further down the line, he does give your allies haste. He's a healer, a support, and it causes the computers to freak out when they're like trying to run around that wall. He starts there, they run at him, he runs off the field. They're like, oh, and then they turn around, and then now your team is kind of safe from being swung from the back. So Damien can help you get past those really awkward stages like that. So recommend leaving him there. And now down to Graveborn. This is where there's just such a huge power spike in terms of like just team power. So many of these units I use through the whole game, and it's made such a difference here. Ceccia is given to you right away in that first multi. Keep her here, guys. She is phenomenal. She entangles, does AoE, drops that big golem in the back line. You can actually choose where to drop it if you're manually playing the game. Keep her there. Phenomenal, phenomenal unit to have. Thorin, for me, was the best tank in the game. He can revive himself when he dies. If you upgrade him far enough, he can kind of protect allies and share damage, healing, and HP. It's just amazing tank. So keep Thorin, keep Ceccia. And for the epic units, I actually do think Viperion, who he is here on the right, AoE damage dealer, pretty good. I mean, there were stages where I needed to do quick AoE burst damage. I found Viperion to be the solution for that, so I'm going to keep Viperion here. And for the second one, this is kind of personal preference. If you need an assassin to go to the backline, Sylvinia is good. needs high investment, but she can work. Or you can actually switch to Niru. Niru is a really interesting unit. When he activates his ultimate, he puts this little buff above your units. If they die, they come back in spirit form and keep fighting with your team. So he's a very unique support. And a key thing that I've noticed, and I've done it myself, and I wanted to make sure that I really did kind of point this out in the video. If you go through, look at the units, click their portraits, flip them out, you exit, you come back in, you hit wishlist again. As you can see, it resets everybody's position if you don't hit save. That is just horrendous if that happens. Make sure before you start summoning, especially as free-to-play, do not summon until this is set and saved. Because as you guys can see, I just went in and out. It is now reset and completely put all my choices back to the way it originally was. So make sure that is just set in stone. So this is the lineup that I am doing for my free-to-play account. These are the units that I have had just the most amazing progression with. Things that have helped me get through AFK stages I didn't think I could beat, get to higher levels, get through the story, just beat challenges. These units did that. And before, on my main account, even before I had invested into dupes, just single copies, I started noticing a difference. So feel free to adjust this however you prefer, whatever you feel comfortable with. This is what I'm doing. These are just truly units that made progression just night and day difference. So I do hope that your free-to-play summons go well. I do want to start covering like the Dream Realm daily bosses with free-to-play teams for you guys. It's very hard to show that on my main account because the game kind of locks you away from the lower difficulties once you progress past them. So this is a great opportunity for me to really build up a good free-to-play account and share you guys some tips, strategies, guides on how to get through and really progress as free-to-play. So thank you for being here. Smack the sub button. Let me know what you think. Let me know what units you guys have on your wish list down in the comments below. What unit are you kind of like striving after? Which one has made the biggest difference in your account personally? I'm very curious to see kind of how the free-to-play progression is going. I'm excited to get this account built up. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.